If you're waiting on the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect idea to start your business in 2026, this video is for you. For all that don't know, I'm B, the creator, aka Brittany is my real name, but I started all of my businesses literally from ground zero. I didn't have any investors, I didn't have a rich uncle, nor did I have anybody there to help me, to guide me through my path. I just had ideas, I made mistakes, I had to pivot along the way, and it was hard. It was hard, but it's worth it. In this video, I'm breaking down step by step on how to build your business in 2026 from ground zero. If you don't know what you're doing or where to start, keep watching this video. I got you. Let's start with the biggest problem. It's your mindset. Most people don't fail because they're not smart enough. They fail because their mindset, they just overthink things way too much. Here's what you don't need in 2026. You don't need a perfect idea. You don't need a perfect logo. You don't need a full website just yet. You only need like a one-pager. And you don't need a 20-page business plan. That's so antiquated and outdated. What you do need is clarity and action. The key truth to all of this is you can build a successful business with a messy start. You cannot build one without starting though. You have to start somewhere. And this is your start. If you're starting in 2026, you don't need to start with thousands of things. You only need to start with one thing. You don't need 5 different services, 5 different products, 3 different audiences, a brand that does everything. Because we all know, or if we don't know, I'm also in marketing, but if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. Ask yourself, who does this business help? What problem does this business or service solve? And would somebody pay for this service or product right now? Those are the key questions you should be asking yourself before you start this business. Your first offer is not your forever offer. Don't get stuck in that, I gotta stick with this because I started with this. It is literally just your entry point. Do not get stuck and hung up on that part. Some examples of some things you should start a business around is if a service that you already provide, that people already know you for, but you've just been doing it as a side hustle, maybe now is the time to turn it into a big business. Another thing is a skill that people already know that you have and they ask you about it. People are always asking, how do you do this? How do you know about that? Can you tell me more? Can I pick your brain? Which I don't really like, but they'll say things like that to you. That means you have a knowledge on a certain subject that can be taught, that can be sold. And then another is a simple product that solves a specific problem. Like you have to have a product that solves a problem or a service that solves a problem. Everything when it comes to entrepreneurship and building a business is problem solving. So let's start off with your business name. Your business name does not have to be that deep. It does not have to be too clever. It does not have to have like an emotional pull. It needs to be easy to say, easy to spell, and easy to remember. You never want something that's forgettable, so you don't want to make that business name too long, hard to spell, hard to pronounce. Stop sitting on name ideas for months. Just pick a name and go with it. You can change it later. Even though you may not want to change your actual business name, I get it. So you might want to play around with it just a little bit, but do not get hung up on your business name. Everything else will flow right behind it. Now, some branding basics for 2026 is going to be your colors, your fonts, and a simple, clean logo. When it comes to colors for your business, you want to pick 2 to 3 colors, and you want to stick with those colors to stay consistent in your business. You also want 1 or 2 fonts. If you go with 2 fonts, you need one that complements the other. Don't pick 2 big, bold fonts. Pick like a bold front and a thinner front, and I'll put some examples here on the screen for you. But go along with 1 to 2 fonts, 2 to 3 colors, and now your logo. Your logo needs to be very minimal, very basic. You do not, I know people have all like these cartoon logos, these caricature logos, the glitter logos. Those just do not transcribe onto clothing, onto things that print out very well, and it can be expensive. If you want it to come out glittery and shiny, it's going to cost you. Just think, the more colors that's within your logo or within your brand, the more printing, the more layering they're going to have to do, and that's the more expensive it's going to be. So if you want all those glitz and glams, you can go ahead, but it's going to cost you more. But honestly, your logo needs to be very simple. Think Think about Target, think about Starbucks, think about Nike. It's literally just a check mark. Like, your logo does not have to be this extravagant thing. It can be very simple, easy to remember. So you want to always be memorable. One thing to remember is that branding grows with your business. These are things that can change over time, that can be tweaked a little bit. Money does not wait for aesthetics. The money is there now. You want to go after the money. The whole purpose of you building a business is to make money. Like, that's just the bottom line of it. Now we're gonna move into making it legit. This is where people get intimidated because they're like, oh no, I can't do this. I don't know how to register my business with the state. I don't know how to get an EIN number. I don't know how to set up a business banking account. This is actually probably the easiest part because it really doesn't take much to get it done. Now, you can go out there and pay somebody, or you can go out and pay like LegalZoom or different brands that will help you register your business with the state. But honestly, it's a lot less expensive for you to just do it yourself. EIN numbers are free. To register with the state, you need to go to your state's account and maybe just Google, like for instance, I live in Georgia. So you just Google how to register my business in Georgia. It's gonna pop up, it's gonna take you to the state. I cannot think of the name right now, but I'll put it on the screen. But it's gonna take you over to that web page. You're gonna register your LLC or your sole proprietorship through your state's website. It usually costs anywhere between $50 to $300 depending on your state. If you are in Georgia, it's like $125 initially, and then I believe it's $25 to $50 per year after that, and you can renew it every year, 2 years, or 3 years, I believe, in Georgia. Don't quote me though. But getting your EIN number is very, very simple. You just go to irs.gov/EIN number. It takes 5 seconds. You just be ready to print, to screenshot, or to mail it to yourself. But that's literally it. Do not pay anybody for your EIN number. It's literally free, and it takes under 5 minutes. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to open up your business banking account. I've been banking with Novo, which is like an online fintech company. They've been really good to me. I haven't had any issues. Well, I will take that back. The biggest issue is depositing cash. The hardest thing is because they are not like a local bank like a Wells Fargo or like a Bank of America. You can't just go to an ATM and deposit cash. So that's the trickier part with that. But other than that, it's been a good bank. But if you want to, if you're in good standings with like Wells Fargo, I have a Navy Federal business banking account as well, where I can go and deposit my cash and I can transfer it into my other. I do have multiple business bank accounts. I've been in business for 6 years. You only need one to start. One, you need a business checking account and maybe a business savings account for you to slide in maybe like 10% of your profits into that savings account just for a cushion. But you also want to have this business bank account to protect yourself. It keeps your business money separate from your personal funds. That way, when it comes to tax time, you have to itemize things. It's easier to find. You don't have to worry about things being mixed up, and it's just chef's kiss. It makes a huge difference having them separate. So your accountant won't have to do much, and they won't charge you more for that. Now, the next part is you want to set yourself up to get paid. You don't want to be running a business, selling a product or service, and people don't have a way to pay you. You have so many different streams of payments. You got the Stripe app, you got Square, you have there's an array of them. I'll put a bunch of them on the screen. But if people can't pay you easily, they won't. That should be the easiest, most simple thing for people to get your product or service, is making a payment to you. You need one payment processor. You need one way to invoice. Usually if you go with like Square or Stripe, I believe they have like a payment where you can submit invoices. PayPal also has it too, but you know, PayPal charges a lot of fees. So, I mean, everybody's going to charge fees. Just pick whichever one you want out of all the evils, because you're going to have to pay fees regardless. And make sure you set clear pricing for your product or service. Being new doesn't mean being cheap. Price yourself correctly. We're going to move into pricing your product or service. You want to price for sustainability, you want to price for time, and you want to price for growth. Yes, your prices can change over time. One mistake that I made was I started my business, I was priced way too low. I was charging way too low for birthday parties. I was charging way too low for making the slime. I was scared to move up in my prices because I didn't think people would want to pay for it, but business actually increased and people still said yes. So set yourself up, look at your competitors. The one time I'll tell you, you need to look at competitors, see what they're charging, and find you a happy medium with your pricing. Now we're gonna go into marketing without burning out. You do not need to be everywhere. Like I said, if you're talking to everybody, you're literally talking to nobody. Pick one platform, one audience, and one message, and go with that. Your content needs to fall into one of three categories. It needs to be education, which is you're going to teach people what you know. It needs to be proof, which is basically results, progress, testimonials from your clients, or it needs to be personality. It needs to tell your story. It needs to tell your why. When it comes to your market, you need to know your market. You need to pick your platforms and go with it. You can't be everywhere all the time. You're not an octopus. You don't have clones. It's just you, yourself, and yourself. So next up, we're gonna talk about sell before you're ready. Here's the part that most people skip, actually asking for the sale. Before you may even be ready, you need to have a clear offer, you need to have clear action, and you need to have confidence when you're selling. Examples is book with me, DM me to start, link in bio. You need to have a CTA, which is a call to action in every last one of your videos. Like, you need to make sure if you're doing YouTube videos, if whatever videos you want people to like, comment, and subscribe, like in this video too. So go ahead, while you're at it, go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to my page, and tell me what you think, and tell me what kind of business you're growing while we're talking about it. But back on subject, no one buys what you don't offer. Make sure you're offering something for people to buy. You're not just there just to be there. Now, next up, we're going to go into what actually matters in 2026. What's going to matter most in 2026 is consistency. You want to focus on showing up. You want to focus on learning fast, adjusting quickly, and staying in the game. You definitely don't want to stay stagnant. You don't want to stay in the same place when it comes to business, because to grow means to change, and change is the only constant. So most businesses don't fail, they get abandoned. Like, people just literally, they'll start something, they'll get tired of it, and then they'll move on to the next thing. And then they'll start something else, get tired of it, and move on to the next thing. Building an actual business from ground zero takes grit, and it takes stamina and endurance. You got to stay in it for the long haul, even when you're bored with it, even when it's not making money, even when you're tired of it, because running a business is like being on a roller coaster. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, you're going to have your straights, you're going to have your curves, you're going to have your spirals. It's literally going to be a big thing, but you got a starting point and you got an ending point, and the biggest thing with that is to enjoy the ride. So the last thing up is your closing plus your CTA. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I can actually do this, you can do this. You just need to take it step by step. And if you want step-by-step help, I have a whole collection of videos on building your business. I posted throughout the whole month of January. I'm posting throughout February, where I break down daily actionable steps that you can do to help build your business, build your brand, find your target audience. Just go back and watch some of those videos. But if you want more one-on-one, I am going to start offering one-on-one client sessions when it comes to building your business, but that'll come a little later. For right now, use the videos to help you. It's videos on building business, it's entrepreneurship information everywhere you can think of. And yeah, that's probably about it. So go ahead and like this video. If you learned something, share this video with a friend, comment start if you are starting your business in 2026, and stop thinking so much about it and just do it. And I'll see you on the next one.